Hello everyone and welcome back to Titancraft. We are making our way down the south tunnel here to go visit our bartering farm, which I haven't visited on camera since we built it, but I visit it quite often because I often need stuff from there, like quartz, specifically quartz and string and obsidian and stuff. This is actually the tunnel I have to go down to get to my bartering farm because I never built the tunnel to it, and lots of other tunnels have popped up around it. This is what I do. I come down this tunnel. I come to around about negative 400 or so. You can see in the top left corner. I knock out this wall, put it back, and then fly on over here to the bartering farm. I guess I could come through this tunnel as well, or like make myself a hole in this tunnel, but I don't know whose tunnel this is, and it kind of popped up here one random day after I built this, and oh. Hello. Someone's moved in and tried to protect it from me. Didn't they read the sign? Can't they read? I guess not. But I often find pigs in here waiting to attack me. Things spawn in here all the time. The reason we're here is to grab lots of blackstone. So like I said in the end of the last episode, we are going to be building the next rig for our base, the one that will be covering the gold farm, and it is quite a dark build. It's going to have a lot of deep slate and a lot of blackstone, a whole lot of blackstone, so I don't really have that much at my base, and I have plenty more if I need it. I'm not sure how much I need exactly, but I just know I need a lot of it. I know I need to craft a lot of blackstone things. In fact, I'll just take a couple more boxes just because I think I need a lot. I think I need to craft a lot of blackstone stuff. Another thing I need a lot of, like I just said, is deep slate, although I don't have very much at my base, so I'm also going to check out something else that we haven't visited on camera yet, but I've been to several times. Something that I ran last season, actually, I started it last season, was just like a big community storage. I started about halfway through the season last season at my public end portal. If you want to see some video of that, one of my previous episodes, I showed it a bit. Basically invited people to come put anything that they don't need or don't want, and put it into community storage, and anyone could take anything from community storage that they needed. In this year's community storage, this is where we live, down this big thing here, which I haven't really explained. I don't think I've shown this on camera either. Basically, I ended up in the same tunnel as a public wool farm, and this public wool farm like has a bunch of like separate little entrances to a bunch of the different colors and stuff. They have all the colors here, and each color has its own separate like entrance, because you can only have 50 entities together in one place, like loaded at one time. They had to spread them all out so they can get good rates on each color. So anyone can go get whatever color they need by going through whichever like portal they need to get to the specific colors. You can kind of see it back here. There's entrances down here to all the different colors of wool. So that's underneath of here. So this, I think the person who originally built all this had a plan for it and wasn't going to leave it like mostly blank like this. I'm not super sure what happened with that, but that's okay because honestly, I didn't really have time to build my own nether tunnel this season anyway. So I'm totally fine being just within this one, because I have my own like series of portals here. Like you can kind of see, this is to the starter base. Right here is to the rig 1. The factory rig. Over here, I think, is, yeah, the raid farm. Over here is the storage rig. And over here is the gold farm, which will become the refinery. But for now, let's go on over to community storage. Kind of got sidetracked there for a second. But basically, this is the tunnel that we're in. And since I figured I'd never show you that before, I figured I would show you it. Right there's our tunnel, and here is community storage. And this has been super helpful for a lot of people I know. I haven't taken too much from here, but it is a really great resource and worth coming here to look for things. They have this like huge bulk storage for bulk items, which is why I'm coming here to see if they have a lot of deep slate. I'm assuming they probably do. Yeah. See, I could like mine my own deep slate, or better yet, I could use my Philia deep slate pick on my stone generator, which I showed in a previous episode. Basically just generate and mine my own. It's a really quick and easy way to get things like a deep slate and andesite and diorite and granite and all that kind of stuff. But I figured this would be a lot faster, and there's tons of shulker boxes here of it already. I'm just going to fill up my inventory the rest of my inventory with deep slate. I might even have to come back for more, but I figured since so much of it is here, I might as well grab some. Coming back into our nether tunnel here, we can come into the gold farm portal, and I can kind of start to explain what we're going to do there. Right now, I've got the farm set to auto mode. So like I've just put red roses here so they die automatically and their stuff will get collected. Because I'm going to be working on the whole area surrounding this, I'm not going to just let pigs get built up here. It might as well let them start. You know what? I'm gonna turn this down. I think that's probably the best for everyone. Yeah, I'm going to be working on everything around the gold farm, and I might as well collect gold while I do it. It obviously isn't quite as much as using looting 3 or even looting 4, my looting 4 sword on it. But I'm interested to see how much gold I actually get from just letting it run and letting them die like this while I build. So this whole thing is just going to come down. Everything around here, everything you're currently seeing, except the farm here, is going to change. The storage system is changing. The portal is going slightly somewhere else. I don't think I'm going to include a bee farm anymore here at all because I've got the bee farm in the factory, which only creates honey bottles, but I've got more honeycomb than I'm ever going to need this season, so I really don't need more. So I might as well just get rid of this and just use the one at the factory rig over there. So we're going to tear all this away in a bit. I think I'm first going to build up the base of the rig here, which actually the design for it ended up being my favorite of the 3 so far, I think. I do really like the other 2, don't get me wrong, the orange one and the red one, which you can't even see the red one, it's too far away. But this one, I think it just looks really cool. I think I did a really good job with this one, so I'm excited to build it. And the factory on top is going to be really cool looking. It's going to be similar to the storage rig here, where it's mostly just one big building instead of like the conglomeration of all the different buildings that's on the factory rig here. This mishmash of buildings on top of here was a very distinct choice I wanted to make for this rig, but I wanted this to be like the main rig. This is the main factory. This is rig number 1. As you can see, it's red herring 1, and this is red herring 2. This is rig number 2. This is actually going to be named rig number 4. The one that's going to go back here behind the factory rig, which will have a bridge coming out to it and will connect to this bridge here by doing like a kind of a roundabout on the raid farm going this direction. They'll both connect to another rig out here, which will be rig 3. So rig 4 over here is going to be the Metal Refinery rig. It's going to kind of have like a metal factory feel to it. I don't even know if the words I'm using make any sense. I don't know if refinery is the right word. I just think it's a cool word, saying Metal Refinery. That's what it is. It's more like a metal factory, I guess. They're working with metals. They're working with copper and iron and gold in this factory, I guess, is what I should say. There's a bunch of other plans for it as well. We're going to build a super smelter. We're going to have like clerics here as well. It'll be great because we can store rotten flesh near the clerics and trade rotten flesh with them. We're gonna have a nice collection of clerics out here because right now we just have the ones at the starter base, and it would be really nice to have a bunch of them to get lots of XP bottles, which we can use for that stone generator I have at the factory rig. We can use it to get redstone for the redstone shop. It's honestly, clerics are great, and I'm excited to have a bigger collection of them out here on their own. And if there's any other plans, well, you'll just have to wait and see for those. We are going to get started on this build right now. And we now have built another full oil rig out here on the ocean with another cool factory on top. This is our third one out here now. Very, very cool looking. This one obviously has a nice dark color palette, which is quite a bit different from the other two. I think I mentioned earlier in the video that this base here, this oil rig base, was one of my favorites. Possibly my favorite, although I really like all of them. I think the orange one is a very close second. I don't know. The red one was the first one I did, and I think it's cool, but I think the orange one was like a step up, and I think this one is possibly a step up. I just really like these rounded top parts up here. I really like the dark color palette. I think works really nicely, and like the bits of yellow going all around. I can throw up an image on the screen of basically what was like the first inspiration, I guess, for this look here. I wasn't sure what the top part of this would look like, what the factory on top of this would look like, but ultimately I also decided to go for a dark color palette up here. I think for a build that like houses the gold farm, I think that is this is a good look for it, and I think it does like differentiate itself from these other two quite a bit. Maybe even a little bit like more dark and like ominous, but I think the shapes here are really cool. And here we'll take go ahead and take a fly around here so we can see it from the different angles. Looking at this smokestack up top here, flowing in the wind, looks really cool. It's the same pretty much on all four sides, with some slight differences and just obviously some different texturing, and then this pipe on this side going all the way up, and like different little bits of detail all around. We got these little like ore holder things all around the outside here of this thing, and this cool crane up here. So yeah, this rig is meant to be the Metal Refinery, and I don't even know if I'm like using that term correctly or not. That's the basic idea behind this one, mainly because of the fact that it houses the gold farm. It also has a few other properties inside of it that I think fit that theme rather nicely as well. And we can kind of take a look at some of these outside details here. Some like little like steam bits coming out of the ground here underneath. You can also throw an image up on the screen of what originally inspired this building. It's actually a drawing that originally inspired this building, and an illustration. And I kind of tried to mimic the illustration a little bit in kind of a weird way that I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I ended up deciding to keep it, some of the experimentation I did with that, because I do kind of like the way it looks. I kind of like what it adds. Basically, you can kind of see there's like glass panes all going up the sides, and this is all around the building. These glass panes are all around the building, going like up in streaks like this. And I kind of noticed on the illustration that it was very streaky like that. And I really liked the way that looked. And, you know, that's kind of a difficult thing to capture. So I put these glass panes on the outside here to kind of give that streaky look to it. And I think it actually ended up looking pretty cool. I don't know like 100% if it reads exactly the way I want to or not, but I think the streaks do look kind of cool. And maybe if you're up close to it, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but from far away, I think the streaks add a nice like little highlights basically going up the side. And I like those little bits of highlights. I think they look really, really nice and add a lot too. Yeah, especially from this side, I don't know, just like those streaks going up, those little specks of highlight. I think just make it look a little bit more illustrative, kind of like what it was based on. So now we have our train tracks going directly into here. And this is actually the end of the line for the train tracks. You know, the other two buildings we've done so far, the other two rigs we've done so far, have them going through it and then coming out the other side. This one is like a loop, kind of loops around here. And this like nice dark tunnel. And this is where I would imagine the people working here in this building, they would get off here and enter to go downstairs to the main area. And then after they're dropped off, the train would continue on around the loop and then back out to the same exit again. Basically, the train route would just be one big loop, and it'd probably only have one train running just like all the time, and be able to pick up employees from different rigs and carry them to other rigs whenever necessary. Something I like about this rig, and that I think is kind of funny about it, is that the only windows in this entire like big building here, this dark building here, is these windows in the train area here. So only the train gets light, and you get light when you get off the train, I guess, and get back onto it. But when you're actually in the building itself, there is no light, there's no windows. And it was actually because of that that I included this over here. Well, one of the reasons why I included this over here, this little like stone bit here. I wanted to break up the full-on dark facade here with just a little bit of a lighter color hanging off the side here. And I wanted to store some clerics here. I wanted to move all of my clerics from that I had at the starter base. I moved all of them here, and plus I got a few more, moved them here. And now I can trade for redstone dust and XP bottles and get all of that I would ever need from these guys. Just stand around here and wait for them to be able to trade with. This has kind of been the plan all along, is to have a separate area to trade with these guys over here. I obviously kind of wish I had done it sooner, wish I had gotten to this part sooner, but that's fine. Always meant to bring these guys over to the gold farm. Also because they can trade rotten flesh, and I can bring the rotten flesh from the farm directly over here to trade with these guys whenever I want to get more emeralds, although I don't think I'm really hurting for emeralds. It's also just something to do with the rotten flesh, so like it's not just going to waste or getting destroyed. Like, it feels like you're actually using it for something when you trade it and get stuff from it. So there's a few entrances into the main area, the main metal refinery area. There's one of them right here. You can go directly from the cleric area. Also, all around the outsides of this entire thing are these doors here, and you can come through on either side, all four sides, to inside of this like grand area here, which I quite like the way it turned out. Basically, I wanted to build this giant like furnace in the center, and this is actually the gold farm here. If you want to see right there, we can hear them now. The zombie pigmen fall down and are right now getting killed by the wither roses. But basically, the center is this cool furnace. It's got like lava dripping down. It's like they're being burned in lava, and their gold is being sent off to be collected. And there's some like ore storage on the shelves on either side. And just this like big open like factory-esque area. I'm really happy with these like dark floors. I just think the entire vibe of this entire building just really stands out, both exterior and interior, from the other rigs we've done so far. This one really looks different, and that's what I was going for. Just making it look different, making it be its own thing, and giving it this like really dark vibe. From the furnace right here, you can come down to the nether portal, and we also have gold storage over here. Gold nuggets being collected, gold ingots, actually collecting feathers as well. And then I also installed this. There's a thing going on behind the wall here where it will be automatically sending swords, all the gold swords that get collected from this, especially when you're using looting. Tons and tons of gold swords. They were just getting destroyed before in the old setup, but now they go through here and get smelted up in this blast furnace, and then the gold nuggets that get created from that automatically get sent back into here. And we have a little bit of a window here too, just like a little tiny bamboo farm. There's a couple more over there as well, like off, I was about to say off screen, but it's like behind this wall basically. There's a couple more setups like this where it just like when this grows, the piston will set it off. And I'm pretty sure this is like full plenty with bamboo at this point. Even though it uses quite a bit of bamboo to cook each sword, it gets filled up pretty quickly. Even with this like very, very small little dinky bamboo farm we got going on there. And this is the pipe where all the drops from the piglins come through. Pretty much all of this is just all decorative, just shoving for ores. We got this cool thing here. It's like a conveyor belt. These are actually out of sync currently. I kind of wanted them to be in sync with each other. And that's something we can actually fix. If you look here, if I turn this lever off here, these rails will turn off down here. And then when these guys come back, they'll stop. So that guy will stop there, and this will come as well and stop. And now that they're both there, I can go ahead and press that and wait for them to come back here. But they basically come out of here and just kind of look like things are moving, just giving some movement to the area, giving a little bit of a visual interest to the build in general. And then over here on this side, so the opposite wall of the gold farm storage, we have a smelter. And actually, I don't mean to have this turned up currently. There's a bunch of buckets in here because I was smelting some stuff. The farm is powered by lava buckets. And so you just input stuff here and outputs to here. It's not a very fast one. There's only 16 furnaces, I think, maybe less than that even, maybe like 12. I don't even remember anymore. But it's faster than having to do it manually, like manually putting stuff in furnaces, which is what I've been doing this entire season. I've been wanting to have a auto smelter for a long time, and I'm really happy to finally have one. I just kind of threw this together myself. I can actually show you. So we go in any one of these corners, there's a door, and you can go through here. And this is actually how you get to the outside here. Is another ladder. You know, you can boat up here, go up the ladder, and come through here and make your way up to the main area. But another thing you can do out here is come on these balconies. And this balcony in particular, I wanted to just come out here and figured I would just show you the smelter real quick, and maybe we can see how many furnaces there are. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there's only 8. Wow, there's way less than I thought. Well, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, it goes faster than what manual smelting does. And this is basically just the same thing as the shulker requesters in the raid farm and the factory rig, but with lava buckets instead. So if I take a lava bucket out of here, or a lava bucket is used out of here, it'll automatically request another lava bucket from over here, where we have tons of lava bucket storage. And this goes like all the way up to the top where we have a lava farm, and I'll show you that as well. But basically we have a lava farm with tons of lava cauldrons, and I can bucket them up and send them down here. You know, we can take, a few of these out, and you can see them. You can see them all come and start to fill these up. There's one, and then we'll get another one in a second here. And each of these is individual, so they all contribute to this line being powered. So now that one's gone, but this one's still powered. And this one will become unpowered as soon as the lava bucket goes into it. And it's on a specific timer, so it doesn't send too many lava buckets at once, so we don't waste any. Because right now, if a lava bucket doesn't go into one of these hoppers, it just gets dropped down below. And I thought about recycling it back into the chest, but then I just was like, not bothered. I was like, I'm just going to make the timer long, so like it never sends more than it needs at a time. So there's really no reason to like recycle it back in. And I mean, I have plenty of lava buckets, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. So yeah, this is the main interior for this build. This is the most detailed interior for this build, although obviously there's more floors, and we can go visit those real quick. Now above here is the station as well, like we've seen, basically the train tracks going all the way around. But right here we have a copper aging area. And it's not super big, but it's something to fill the space. I really wanted to make myself not have like a million little interiors to fill the space up with. I didn't know what to fill the space up with, like with interiors. So I made these like little areas like this where I could just do something hopefully that's helpful for me in the future. And this is definitely going to be helpful because the next build that I'm going to do in the next episode needs a bunch of this kind, the weathered copper. So I've been really collecting that. This whole floor all around here is just for copper aging. And looks like I need to harvest some of these now. Do some more AFKing here to complete collecting all of the weathered copper that I need. And then one more floor up is the station. So we're on the sides right now of the station, which we just saw. And we can keep going up to the lava farm, which is also not a super decorated interior or anything like that. But it is very convenient and filled with lava. So there's like tons and tons of lava here, tons of lava cauldrons. And they fill up pretty quickly. And there's some buckets here, just lots of empty buckets if I need them. And then I can take all of the lava buckets that I filled up and put them in here, and they'll be sent down to the lava bucket storage for the smelter. And now this is something that is on all 4 sides, and it is connected to the entrance that we went through, to that main area here. We can come all the way down, and really the only thing this exists for is to go up to the lava area and the roof, and which you can see on the sign here. But all of the sides here have a stairway like this. So I was really only concerned with making this main space really cool, and I think it turned out really awesome. And we can come up onto the roof. We can just fly up here, put a little bit of like more roof decoration on top of here. But this is how you get up to all 4 sides. There's a little bit of an entrance right here on all 4 sides, and everything else up here is just for decoration. Although I do really like this crane. This crane turned out really cool. I imagine it's like picking up the ores from the little things here hanging off the sides and taking them into the refinery and stuff like that. So ultimately, I'm really happy with how this rig turned out. And I think it works. I think it looks the way that it should for the purpose it has, being the metal refinery and having the gold farm inside of it. I think it looks just right. So I was hanging around, as one does, with actually 2 future staff members of the server, Yada and Limbrogger, just meeting up in the spawn building so that Lim could take me to something he's been waiting to unveil for a long time now. The LSP, which stands for Lim's Secret Project. This is basically a project that Lim's been working on since the very beginning of the season, over a year ago, and is one of the most unique things I've ever seen built in Minecraft. This book here had some setting suggestions, so I set my settings, removed my resource packs, and jumped into a hole, transporting me to this absolutely magical experience, a 360-degree map art, a truly immersive experience with sound effects and everything. Let's just sit back and listen for a second and really soak it all in. As we step out, we get a look at this room that this is in, complete with ambient frogs, ambient water, and spore blossoms. Lim takes me down one of these tunnels to show the individual map art pieces. These are real, fully built maps in the map art world. You may remember me showing him prepping this area at the very beginning of the season. We also take a look at this really cool folded out version. Lim actually did a more complete walkthrough of this with Cable, another member of the server, which I'll link to down below for you to watch. Huge congrats to Lim for conceptualizing and completing this amazing project. And to end the episode off, now that we've completed that lovely rig back there, we're going to be able to move on to the next rig, and the final rig in the next episode. I wanted to show, well, we'll take a look at that specimen in a second, but I wanted to show that I completed some bridges back here. I finally have a bridge coming off of the back of the factory rig, which, you know, this has just been a dead end for a little while now, but now it's going to go this direction. And then we can take a look at our gigantic shulker monster here for the final rig over here. Tons and tons of materials for that. But this leads through here and over to the raid farm, and over the raid farm, and then curves back around to the storage rig. And I kind of like how this curves around and like goes directly on top of the raid farm. I think it ended up working out pretty well. I wanted to critique this a little bit. I think one thing about it is that the bridge kind of overshadows the actual like raid farm build a little bit here, which ultimately is not a big deal. This was like meant to be kind of a small building in comparison to the rest of these things out here. And the main point of this is the clock tower, which is not blocked at all. The clock tower is the main thing that you're supposed to be able to see from everywhere. Like you want to be able to see it from there and from there and from there and from what's going to go over here. All the workers need to be able to see the clock tower from any place around here. And so I'm not too bothered about the bridge kind of covering up the building a bit. And I keep flicking myself towards this over here, which just happened. And I gotta say, I'm really, really happy with this and like how it turned out. Look at this Cable here. Now, we've seen Cable quite a bit in this season. His Cable statues all throughout. Like I've showed tons of these in my videos. This is actually the first Cable statue I've built at a base of mine. Even though I've been here since season 6, this is the first base Cable that I've gotten, and I'm really excited about it. So I was kind of cutting it down to the wire here, and I felt bad about it because I've been meaning to ask Cable to build a statue here for quite a while. He takes statue requests, and the amount of cables on bases and in bases and around bases in the server are it's just nuts. I would really love to know how many cable statues there are on the entire server. Probably dozens and dozens, like many dozens. And this is another one added to that list. So I basically told him to put it in the center here of where these bridges were eventually going to go. I asked him to kind of make it nautical themed, have it be like kind of half in the water and half out. And I really like the idea he went with here, which is a pirate, kind of a Captain Hook kind of pirate. The hat looks great. The feather coming out of the hat looks great. And this hook looks awesome. And he's like in a little life preserver here, which I just think looks awesome. Is kind of exactly what I was hoping for. It's the exact kind of thing that I was hoping he would do. A special nautical design that could live here in the center of all of these rigs here. I think it's a nice centerpiece to the whole thing. Thank you, Cable, for that. I love it, and I'm very, very happy to finally have a cable statue, at one of my bases. So the next episode, we're going to build this rig out here. And now I have to warn you, I think the next episode will be the last episode of this entire series of this season, because the season is ending very, very, very soon. Like more soon than I'm willing to admit right now, because obviously this is not built in the slightest yet. And I don't know if it's going to be finished or not. I guess we'll have to see. I mean, I finished designing it in creative. It's a lot of building. We'll see what we can get done. If it's not finished, then, you know, it is what it is. But I've got all the materials for it. I've got everything ready for it. I just got to start building. And we are going to do that in the next episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you liked the Metal Refinery build way back in the distance there. We can't even see it right now, but I hope you liked it. And I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you in the next video with more Titancraft, possibly the last bit of Season 9.